Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Strawberry Sundaes podcast. It's been way too long. This podcast has been in the making for months, but we've not been able to sort it out. But we are here. We've got the main man, Juddy, with us today. Juddy, how are we?
Yeah, good mate, good. Like we said, it's been in the works for months, but both had quite busy schedules, so it's good. It's good to get on, mate. Definitely.
To hear it. Love to hear it. So, we'll get straight into it. If you want to just start off and introduce yourself to anyone in the chat that doesn't know anything about yourself, just go into a bit of detail for me.
Yeah, no worries. So, my name's Justin. I'm known as Juddy in the kind of gaming scene, if that's what you want to call it, or and now the kind of football and YouTube scene. Started gaming about 18 months ago, like we all did in lockdown. I think all of us, this generation of streamers, started in lockdown. So, started doing that, and then now I've kind of moved away from the gaming side of things and looked more into football presenting, football vlogging, and anything to do with football and that involves a camera. I'm probably involved in it somehow. So yeah, nothing much, nothing special, but that's me, mate. That's me.
It's an exciting 18 months though to go from, like you say, just gaming through lockdown to where you are today. But we'll get into that in a bit for you. So we'll go right back to the beginning, sort of with gaming. When did it sort of start for you? Was it when you were young? Did you pick it up on a certain game?
I think. Do you know the first kind of early memories I have of playing a game? I think was Crash Bandicoot in the PlayStation One when I was really really young.
Hmm.
And then I think I pestered my mum for a PlayStation Two, which I got. And I can remember playing games such as like Simpsons Hit and Run, which is an absolute classic. Like they need to bring that back. That was a great game. I can even remember having a Lord of the Rings game, and it was so good. And I think it was the Two Towers or something. It was really really good. Loved
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then obviously everybody kind of made that switch at the time. I think everybody was playing Xbox 360 for a while, um, and that's when I really started getting into the kind of the Call of Duty, and me and my mates would play Black Ops and COD 4 and MW2, all that kind of stuff. Like Modern Warfare 2 is still the best COD ever for me. That's what kind of got me into the whole Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah.
Loved it, mate. Like the intervention on high rise, ACR, just UMP 45, mate. Oh, take me back, mate. They were the days. They were the days.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've got the new COD out, but they don't make CODs like they used to.
No,
They
no
do
way.
not make them like they used to. Okay, so like you say, you went through obviously the early stages through Xbox and things like that.
Yeah.
Now obviously you are on PC. When was that switch that you made?
That switch was made after streaming for a while. You've seen the difference in caliber. Now I know I'm not a talented gamer in the sense of ability wise. People more watch my stream because they just wanted to watch me, or we had quite a good community feel, which I like. So, but for me to kind of improve my content, making the switch to PC was one of the things that everybody done, especially while we're playing Warzone, like the FPS, the FOV, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I kind of switched over to that. But now it's quite a blessing that I have done it, because obviously with the vlogging and stuff, and if I need to edit stuff, it's all on PC, so it's so much easier now to just have everything in the one place rather than Elgato's not working, or aux cables in your mix amp and stuff. So yeah, but I do like PC. I even play FIFA on PC this year, which a lot of people will go, "Oh, what are you doing that for?" But it's actually quite good. So
Yeah.
I do enjoy it, mate.
Is that FIFA through controller as well?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously we've got the Astro controller, so it works fine for all games. So yeah, it's brand new.
Yeah. Same as myself. I've tried to venture into FIFA this year, but just yeah,
Oh,
it's just not me. It's just not
it's
me.
so good, mate. I love it. I love a bit of FIFA, mate. Ultimate Team. I'm an SBC addiction, mate. I love just doing all the
Yeah.
SBCs. So that's me.
Ultimate Team's always got that like addictive side of it, and I mean, Ultimate Team just
Yeah,
yeah, you can end up spending thousands on that thing.
tell me about it.
Um, so we'll go back to like you said, when we all kind of made that push to stream, sort of the beginning of lockdown. Did you already have sort of the? I know, like you said, you've obviously moved to PC now, but did you already have those like the Elgato and things like that already to your disposal, or
No, so how I actually started streaming was we done a charity stream, um, and it was on PlayStation 4, and I done it through the camera and stuff. And we got the chance to play with like Mason Mount, Scraps, and my mate Dwayne Holmes, who a lot of people know I'm very, very friendly with. So um, we were raising money for a good cause, and that's how it kind of started. And then I think we had over like 150 views in that charity stream, which is a lot for any streamer. Like at any
yeah,
time, like it was really really great, and we had loads of prizes to give away, and that was one of the main reasons. And we raised a lot of money. We raised over £6,000 that night, which was unbelievable. And then I just continued to stream anyway. So like, and a lot of the people came back from the charity stream, and then next thing you know, we were hitting like 20, 30 views. And before that, I'd done the charity stream. I was maybe hitting like 1 or 2 views. I was just streaming for my mates, like just to get used to talking to the camera, talking to anybody in the
yeah,
chat. So that's kind of more or less how it started. And then, as you know, it starts. You start by asking your mates to tab your stream so you can get affiliate and or keep it on your phone. Do you know what I mean? And then, like next thing you know, you've got a community, and then you're able to give away giveaways and stuff, and things like that was really really cool. But that's kind of more or less how it started, mate. It started on the PlayStation 4, and then with the money that we got from Twitch and stuff, like we invested that into getting an Elgato, getting like a PC, all that kind of thing. So I actually had a signed Celtic shirt, and a bonus balled it. Like you know how you do the £10 for
yeah,
59 numbers, and they done that. It was like an old Celtic shirt which was signed, and I done that, and that's how I got my PC, mate, because I done that. So if I didn't have that Celtic shirt, I wouldn't have been able to do like I probably wouldn't have been where I am just now. Do you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't have been able to afford a PC. So yeah, that's kind of how it started, mate.
yeah. I am a strong believer of sort of everything happens for a reason, and like you say,
Yeah,
that's an opportunity that you've taken with both hands, to continue to sort of upgrade. And like you say, the experience itself for the viewer,
yeah,
compared to when you're on obviously a PC, compared to where you're streaming directly from a PlayStation 4, is completely different gravy. I only got my PC, so I was just streaming like yourself through PlayStation, sort of March, April
mm-hmm.
of when obviously lockdown first hit. And then like you say, the change is just you
Yeah.
don't realise it yourself, obviously, until you make the jump,
Yeah.
and then it's incredible.
The thing is, as well, when you watch someone on stream who's streaming through a PlayStation 4, you can the enjoyment of watching it. And if there's people watching who have got a PlayStation 4 and they stream through that just now, or a PlayStation 5, don't let that dishearten you. It's more or less like when you make the jump, it's like you're making that jump to become a serious content creator,
Yeah,
and that's what really stands out. Like overlays, alerts, emotes. That's how you get your chat to interact with you and be part of a community. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
but yeah, I think we must have got our PCs round about the same time because I got mine in the May of
yeah. I
the
think yeah,
so
yeah. That would
um,
have been about
must have
right.
yeah must have been just about the same time, mate. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but one of the main reasons why I've been and we've been in the talks of getting you on here is because we do have the same sort of morals with our communities and the ways that we grow in terms of charity work and things like that.
yeah,
We've always both worked to give back to the community, so I think perfect, for you to come on tonight. And we'll go into it again a bit later on with the charity things that you're doing this week.
yeah.
Um, but obviously it's a huge, huge thing that you take within your work. So, and I take my hat off to that because
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
there's
And
obviously people that do the odd streams and whatnot, but to consistently do it, is remarkable.
yeah, I think like the thing that like we don't do it as much anymore, and that's just because we don't earn as much revenue from Twitch as we used to, and we were I was at a point where I was very grateful we were getting, and it's not Twitch isn't all about the kind of subs and stuff, and that's not why I got into it. I got into it because I love gaming,
Mm.
like everybody does. So then. Obviously, we've done a lot of charity work. I think you're way over £10,000 now that you've raised, which is excellent and brilliant. And you're obviously want to start your own charity, which is phenomenal as well. But I think I think the year and a half that I've been doing it, I think we've raised about 8,000 in total for charity, and then we're like every month, like I'm saying, when we had the revenue from Twitch, we were every month I was trying to give away something. Like at least like 1 month we gave away a gaming PC, and we got like one of my mates, Brad. He had his own kind of football shirt company, and he came in and sponsored, and we gave away a gaming PC 1 month, and then we were giving away like keyboards and mice, and now I'm obviously fortunate enough I'm in the position with Astro, who have been excellent with me, and we get to give away a headset every month. But that was just the way I wanted to do it. I felt like the people who spend their nights watching me should get something back, like,
Yeah.
or feel part of something, because you know how easy it is to go and watch any streamer on Twitch, mate. There's millions of them. So that's the reason why we wanted to kind of give back that way. And then we done a few charity streams for like footballers and stuff, and I think there was one of the players at Derby, Andre Wisdom, unfortunately got stabbed on a night out or something, and we raised money for the Derby fans at the time to actually get a flag for them at their next home game. It's because I'd made a lot of Derby community when my podcast started, with the one with the footballers and that. So
Yeah.
stuff like that was always cool, because I just feel, and you're the same. It's the people who spend their time watching you when they could watch anything, mate. I mean, there's so many good shows on Netflix. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
could go and watch that, but instead they're watching some fat guy from Scotland playing Call of Duty all night. Do you know what I mean? So it was one of the ones. It was just like, nah, you need to give these people something back, and I do try and do as much giveaways and stuff as I can when I physically can. Do you know what I mean? Because it's nice
Yeah.
to do, mate.
No, and like you said yourself, the feeling alone is, unbelievable. You can sort of change, like you say, you give away a streaming PC, gaming PC, like you've changed someone's life giving away that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The feeling after that is obviously next to none. Like you said, I've raised money myself, and you come off these like streams or events or whatever that you host, and myself, I can't stop smiling. Like you say, you've changed people's lives,
yeah,
and I think that's where you've got obviously individuals that set themselves out like yourself, that will do that work. For example, wisdom. That's something that you've done individually. You set yourself apart from everyone else. You made yourself unique. So not only are you doing a good, thing for, like the charity and helping wisdom out, but you're also setting yourself apart from, any other viewer. Um, so it's always good to, like you say, it's always inspiring to see people like yourself. Um, and you've been fortunate enough to work with so many people.
yeah. I certainly
Sort of
have.
famous people. It's crazy, crazy. But we'll talk about your podcast. Let's get into it. So for the people that don't know, just give us a tiny bit of a sort of breakdown of the podcast itself.
Yeah, so the podcast is called JuddyTalks. It's the same name as my YouTube channel, but it started as a podcast. Now we do more of the kind of football vlogs, but it literally started, like you said. I've been very lucky to work with some fantastic people, some people who are in the public eye, um, some great footballers who I ended up kind of building a kind of relationship with it through gaming. So um, having the joy of playing Call of Duty with like footballers, to me, after a while, it was just kind of normal, because they are normal guys, and
Mm,
that's why we kind of started the podcast, because I wanted to like put forward to fans that these guys are actually just normal guys, and when they talk to someone like me who they're used to gaming with, it makes it so much easier for them to open up about stuff. Whereas if they sit with
yeah,
a journalist or a reporter, you can see that they don't want to say whatever. But with me, it was more relaxed, and I think that's why our podcast done so well. It was just like, I just wanted them on for a chat. Like, I want to know about your career. I want to know everything that's happened in your career, but I want to hear your side of things rather than what we read in the papers or Sky and
yeah,
stuff. So we've had footballers on from all over the country. I mean, from the really bottom of London to the top of Inverness, from Championship to League One, League Two, non-league, Scottish League, Premier League. We've had them all. So it's been good, mate, and I like that, because you know me, mate. I like my football, so but I like being different. So that was the whole reason. It was like, we'll get something different. We asked them, like, if they could have a dinner party, who would they invite over and stuff like that. Just wee silly things like that, and it helps people relax and get to know the person a wee bit better. So yeah, yeah. I do love the
no,
podcast. So, but I must admit, they did a lot of work for the
yeah,
podcast, like especially the footballers, because you need to spend like 6-7 hours on Wikipedia on all these football stat websites to get all their stuff right, and you need to memorize it as well, because if you're talking about their debut and you get it wrong, or you talk about a game and you get it wrong, it just makes you look silly. And they, do
yeah,
you know what I mean? So a lot of work is in it. So hats off, teammates, for keeping your podcast on for so long, because it is hard work, mate.
yeah. I think, like you say, yours is a bit more difficult in terms of, like you say, the memorizing of the stats and things like that. Obviously for me, mine have been majority sort of Warzone at the moment. We've gone into sort of like the management side of sort of gaming and things like
Yeah.
that. But the majority of it has been, sort of that side of the gaming community. So I don't have to then go into. Obviously, there is a bit of memorizing and things like that, but not as much as yourself. So again, hats off because that's something I couldn't do. Honestly, I couldn't do.
It is hard, mate. But like you said, like it might be a bit more difficult in the research. But podcasts take a lot of time, mate, and they take up a lot of your time. They take up a lot of resources as well. Do you know what I mean? Like paying someone for graphics if you can't do that
Yeah,
yourself. Because I still can't do a lot of that. I now make my own thumbnails and I seem to be mediocre at them. But before I had to get everybody to do everything for me, and you just rely on other people, and then that's money out your pocket. And if you're doing one a week, you realise you're spending an absolute bomb, and you're spending so much time trying to get everything perfect. So no, they are hard work, mate. So hats off to you, mate.
yeah. I mean, like you say, you. One thing I've noticed is when I've tried to do my own sort of editing, like you say, with like thumbnails or you've got like you say graphics and things like that,
Yeah,
you're always so much more critical because you know exactly what you want. Obviously you can then picture it to someone else and they'll paint the picture for you and you're like, okay, that's spot on.
yeah.
You do it yourself, every single little bit is like has to be perfect. I don't know if that's something
Yeah,
like
no, it
yourself.
is. It is. It's like once I started doing stuff in the vlogs and stuff or the podcast, you keep it at the same format. You want everything to be the same, but obviously just the
Yeah,
guests to be different because then you get a real feel for the feel of your podcast, and you'll be the same. You'll have the order of like introduce yourself, all that kind of thing, and that's how podcasts should be because it means people can come back to your podcast and say, well, I don't really know this Juddy guy, but I like the bit where he asks them about their favourite games and stuff, and I'll maybe get to know the person a bit more. So
yeah,
that's what I like about podcasts, mate. You can have anybody on if you've got the same format. Everybody seems to kind of enjoy it, mate. So, nah.
yeah. So we'll get into sort of the vlogging side of things that you've now taken more of a turn to. So like you say, it all started from sort of your podcasts, and then it's sort of branched out into the vlogging. So do you want to just go in a bit more detail on that?
Yeah, so after the the season kind of finished, I gave players a bit of time off because I think you'll remember that the season started a bit late last year because of COVID, but
Hmm.
it's so the games were all crammed in. So I felt it was a bit rude to ask some footballers to because I obviously I've know a few footballers who I know how tired they were. Do you know what I mean? And some of them
Yeah.
didn't even play international football, so I was like, fuck asking anybody to even come on. Like, sorry, excuse my language, but like stuff even asking anybody to come on because I didn't want to just seem like, oh, I want you on my podcast, come on, after that kind of season it had. So
Yeah.
then I thought, what other ways of content can I do? So one day I was going out, or I got asked, a Twitch partner actually, Moza, his name is, really, really nice guy actually. And he said to me, why don't you come out to Stirling for the Scotland-England game? And I went, what, we're just going to be in a pub? And he's like, yeah. And I went, do you know what? Stuff it. I bought a tripod and done like a vlog of like going out to a game. I'd done a couple of episodes of like going to smaller clubs like Auchinleck Talbot, one of the first clubs to let me do stuff in. I'd done like a wee shirt series around the world. We started at Motherwell FC, which was cool. But like this was my first proper vlog about being in like the public. Auchinleck Talbot, there was a few fans there, but
Hmm.
this was my first vlog of actually walking about like Glasgow city centre, going on a train with a camera, and I actually felt quite natural about it. Now I get quite bad. Say not anxiety. Anxiety is not the word, but quite weary of people like looking at me and what they think of me. Or I did. I
Hmm.
used to. But that day when I had the camera, I was just like, stuff it. Who cares? And
Yeah.
ever since then, I've just not looked back. It was like the vlog got a couple of thousand views or something, which for to me back then was insane. I was like, oh my god, that's nuts. Of me just in a kilt, like with a few beers in me, like on a train into Stirling. It was mad. So the stuff like that was really really good. And that's kind of more or less how it started. And then obviously being a Celtic fan, I went to Celtic, and Celtic's one of the biggest clubs in the world, mate. So it's supported everywhere. I mean, you'll know what it's like. YouTube, you can see your analytics and stuff. I've got viewers in Australia, Japan, Germany,
Yeah.
Ireland. So the Celtic stuff does really really well. Plus, it's authentic to me because that's the team I support. So I just thought, right, stuff it. Like I've always said that I'd love to try and go to all the Celtic games as much as I can, but through previous jobs and stuff I haven't been able to. So now I'm just hella lucky, mate, that it is my job. Do you know what I mean? To go and watch my team play, which is just you just pinch yourself sometimes as it actually happening, but it's really really good, mate, and enjoyable. If you don't vlog or you're thinking about getting into vlogging anybody, I'd just recommend go for it, because if you don't like it, then you don't need to do it. But if you don't try it, like, the end product's the best bit, mate. It's so good.
Yeah, and I know, like you say, I've seen a couple of the vlogs myself, and sort of like one thing that stuck out to me was I think the camera was either inside the train and you've walked in, or it was the opposite way round. Um, and that stuck with me because I was like, I'd be so not like nervous, but like,
You have to begin with. I know what you mean. So like, I used to
yeah,
walk onto the train and like put the tripod down and then walk back up to the door and then like just hit record, walk away, and then people would look at me and go, "It's for camera work," and they'd go, "All right, okay," or "It's for
yeah,
YouTube," and
just
they'd go, "All right, what's your YouTube?" Like, and you meet people through that, because
yeah,
if you had just been like, if you're just normal, you get on a train, you sit down with a tripod or a camera, and you don't do anything, like, people are just gonna go, "Oh, I wonder what he's doing." But if you do that with a video and you hit record, you walk away, walk by, they go, "Oh, what are you doing?" They'll talk to you, and you go, "Well, I'm
mm,
making a video for YouTube," and they go, "Oh, what's your YouTube?" And then you meet someone, and that's the thing about vlogging. You meet so many people. Like, see the amount of subscribers you gain from people actually just asking what you're up to. I don't know whether that's just a Scottish thing or people being nosy, but people are like, "What are you up to?" And I'm like, "Well,
yeah,
I'm vlogging." So stuff like that's quite cool. Like, that's been quite cool about it. But they little things, when you watch the good vloggers, I mean, like Casey Neistat and Tom Syndicate, all they kind of things, like
mm,
David Dobrik, when you watch all them, you see the work that they do. Obviously, they have teams and all that who do stuff with them. I think Tom's still quite solo in the sense, though, that he vlogs off his iPhone. But you just kind of get used to it, man. Like, you are nervous to begin with, though, bro, but you do get used to it. You do get used to it.
how many vlogs does it sort of take to sort of like settle it, where you think, "Do you know what, like you say, cameras down, like you say, you said it, obviously it felt natural and things like that." Was that sort of instant, or was it like, sort of 2 3 vlogs in where you thought, "Do you know what, let's
it,
just crack on"?
it like, after the first vlog and I'd done it, the second one I was like I was like a dog out the traps, mate. I was straight in, and then after that I kind of calmed down a wee bit again and was like, oh, nervous. I still kind of, do you know, the thing which has suited me well is, see, because I've stuck with Celtic and obviously
Mm,
that's my club. Like, it's really nice sometimes. Like, well, every time we go to Celtic Park now, like, someone will come up and say, "All right, Juddy, how you doing? Like, I'll watch your videos, by the way," or, "All right, mate, can we jump on this week?" So I don't really need to go out my way and ask that many people. I still ask maybe 4 or 5 people to come on, but we usually get 1 or 2 people who've seen the stuff and ask to come on, which is cool.
yeah,
So that nervous side of things is fine. But my tripod, this is my tripod here, so it's literally just like, I just hold my tripod like this under my chin at the football, so I'm not in the way of anybody. So really, I'm not nervous. It just looks like to people I'm videoing the game.
mm,
So like, that's okay. But I can imagine how people do still get nervous. You do still get nervous, mate. I must admit. Like, you can see people who've watched your content who maybe don't like it. Who, like, there is people out there, like, because obviously I'm going to the same place every week. There's people who love my content. Like, genuinely, there's more people out there who come up and say, "Oh, mate, I love your videos. They're class." Like, or, "Keep it up, mate. You're doing well. You keep it up." Or, but
mm,
they get people who look over and go, "Well, that's that fucking vlogging guy."
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you do. The thing is, mate, you can't please everybody. You can't please
Yeah,
everybody, and that's the thing. If you think you're going to make content for of any kind and please everybody, you're definitely in the wrong place, because it's never going to happen. Like, there's people out there who don't like Tommy. There's people out there who don't like Dukey. There's people out there who don't like David Dobrik. There's people out there who don't like Casey Neistat. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
it's just about doing what you like, mate. That's the main thing. Do you know what I mean?
No, literally that. Like say, you can't please everyone with your content, so
Definitely not, mate.
what, you know what I mean? So, um, okay. Well, like I say, with the vlogs and things like that, I mean, I've watched them myself. They're brilliant. So anyone in the chat, make sure you go in and get subbed and get a load of those vlogs because they are top notch.
Appreciate that.
Um, so we'll go into sort of the last few sections where we just sort of talk about just the content overall in general.
Yeah.
And obviously people that you've worked with. These questions are going to be difficult for yourself because, as we've mentioned, you've worked with so many, you know, fantastic individuals. So,
Yeah.
um, but we're still going to pick your brain, and we are going to pick one.
Yep.
So, um, so this is including sort of like you say, your gaming, your vlogs, your podcast. What was the sort of best content moment that you've had to date?
Oh. So, do you mean best content for me or best content for the viewers?
We'll say for yourself, the sort of best feeling where you've either got off a vlog or a podcast or a Warzone stream, for example, and you've got off and you just thought, wow, that was
I think
magical.
I think the moment when we raised all that money for the charity,
Mm.
and we played with Mason Mount and Scraps, like that, and then I had to shave my hair like Fat Ronaldo for the Brazilian one. So, and that's how it's still not growing like this bit here. So, yeah, but I think that was maybe one of the coolest bit. That was the coolest
Mm.
feeling I had from gaming. I think um, either that or like reaching 1,000 subs on YouTube, because
Yeah.
I knew at that point that I really wanted to pursue YouTube. I really wanted to pursue vlogging and cat or something to do with football and the vlogs. And I think reaching that step was me going, do you know what? I can actually do this.
Mm.
And that's maybe it. I think that's the best bit of content, definitely.
Yeah. I think, like you say, milestones themselves. Once you hit them, it's like
Yeah.
you say, you kind of forget the sort of hard work that you've put in,
Mhm.
um, and all of a sudden you think, you know what, this is all worth it. This is all. Forget all those sort of bad streams I've had or bad moments of that. That's all worth it now. Do you know what I mean? So milestones definitely a
Yeah.
huge.
And like we said, numbers don't really matter, but with something like YouTube and that, like you need to, or even or Twitch, you need to have some sort of numbers behind you to know that people believe in
Mm.
your content, even if it's not like financial numbers. It can be like viewers or followers or people and just people even interacting in your chat. Like that's something that I realized numbers don't matter. Like as long as you're enjoying putting out your content, then keep doing it. Like I know a guy in America. He's a streamer. His name's Jake 40. That's his Twitch now. He doesn't necessarily have the biggest viewers, right? But every stream he has, he's just the same vibe all the time. He's just so
Mm.
good. Like he's a great community, stuff like that. And I learned a lot from him of being like his numbers might not be 50 to 100. He still sits on anywhere from 10 views to like 30 views, but on an average, I'd say. But
Mm.
his content is just so good because he enjoys it, man. So that's like that's one of the main reasons why I think numbers don't matter. But like you said, mate, when you hit that milestone of 1,000 followers or 1,000 subs on YouTube, you realise that like, oh, I could actually do this. Do you know what I mean? Because they're the hardest, mate. Once you hit them, then it's just kind of uphill from there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think you said it yourself though. With sort of communities and things like that, we mentioned it earlier. Every single viewer that's in your, in your streams and things like that, regardless if it's, 3,000 or whether it's, three people, you've still got to be grateful for those people that are watching you and obviously the content you're creating and enjoying that content.
Yeah.
I actually think personally you see a lot of the smaller streamers, especially. When I say smaller streamers, let's just say an average of, like you said, your 10 to 30 um, sort of average viewers. You look at those and see how much fun they have and how much interaction there is with the chat and how much the chat are enjoying that gameplay
Yeah.
is next to none. And like you say, those people are the same vibe every time. They're
Yeah.
not taking themselves too seriously, and obviously you get past a point where you know you're like Nick Merckx, where you're not going to be able to see
Yeah.
everyone's message
Well,
in the chat.
you can't see anyone in that
Do,
chat. Like,
do you know what I mean? But
it's a joke.
he has his own way of that interaction and things like
Yeah,
that,
playing in that
and there is
squad and stuff.
obviously, yeah, no, exactly. But there is people that go down the other route where interaction stops, and you do see people like get to a certain point, and then they do fall off because they're not having that interaction anymore.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important, like you say. It's not. I think how we've mentioned ourselves, how we both are. We're not in it for the financial benefit. We're in it for the just to enjoy ourselves, to be ourselves, and, until it becomes your where you are streaming
Yeah,
full time for that financial benefit, but you should still be enjoying it and making obviously the
yeah.
viewers, enjoy your content.
No, I agree with
Um,
that, man. Definitely.
okay, so the best
Questions are
person,
good.
that you've worked with so far, and why?
Okay, so there's obviously so many. Like, I'm so grateful to all the footballers and stuff who've worked with me. I mean, Tommy, Scraps, Wiskin, like all them as well. But without a shadow of a doubt, it's got to be Dwayne Holmes. That guy changed my life. Like, the guy's gifted me so many subs, kept the lights on in this house. Um, was on the first episode of my podcast. Has got me through some tough times as well. We've both got each other through a couple of like tough times emotionally and stuff like that. But without a shadow of a doubt, Dwayne Holmes, he gave so much to my community. Um, gave just like words can't words being serious, mate. Words can't put into meaning what that guy's actually done for my life over the last 18 months. Like when we were sitting playing COD, he would just come in and like drop a few subs here and there to keep me going and got me through stuff and gave my community signed shirts and stuff like that.
Mm.
And that's not because he's able to do that because his job or being a footballer. That's just because of the guy he is. Like Dwayne would do that if he worked in, I don't know, Asda or Tesco. Like that's the kind of guy he is. Like, um, so I know I've worked with so many great people, but for myself, I have to say Dwayne because if it's not for him coming on the first episode of my podcast, the podcast doesn't happen, the YouTube doesn't happen. If it's not for him, like supporting my channel, subbing to my channel, like help giving subs to people to make them part of my community. This whole this whole studio isn't here, all that kind of stuff, and I'm not a streamer. I don't know what I'd be doing, mate, to be honest. So, I without a shadow of doubt, it's got to be Dwayne, got to be Dwayne.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, it's so crazy how you can go from, like you say, playing online with someone, Warzone or whatever, and the friendships that you build through that, like, incredible. And like you
Yeah,
say, obviously, he's a huge, huge sort of person in the sort of public eye and footballer and things like that. But how he is with yourself and other players, just a normal guy. You know what I
yeah.
mean? He's just a guy that wants to help.
He is, mate. He's just like me and you. He's just a normal guy who lives out our dream of wanting to become a footballer.
Mm.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
He became a footballer. I didn't. Like that's the only difference between like footballers and us guys. Like they have a heart of gold. Like obviously some don't, but like but just and as a person, he's just such a
Yeah.
nice guy. So bubbly, so generous, and he's a good laugh, and he'll give it out. Like you'll give him stick, he'll give it back. Like
Yeah.
he says what's on his mind and stuff like that. And he's one of my best friends. And it all kind of started through him knowing some of my family and stuff like that, and then we got close after the charity stream and things like that. And in fact, I'm actually going down to meet him for the first time since in about 2 years. On next week, I'm actually down at his game, Huddersfield West Brom, to do a vlog. So that'll be cool. It'll be good to see him and. Yeah, I've got my wee gift for his baby that's on the way and stuff like that. So it'll be good to see him because he has done a lot for me, and we don't really, us guys, we don't really talk about it and say stuff
Mm.
which, as much as we should actually to people and tell them how much we care about them and stuff like that. But he's a really really great guy who, like I said, there's no words can describe what he's actually done for me. So yeah, Dwayne Holmes. That was one of the easy ones. That question. But,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I could tell as soon as I, asked that was sort of the easiest. Straight to him.
yeah, great guy though.
Um,
Great guy.
I think, like you say though, because you've treated them with so much, like let's say you just their pals. You're not hassling them, and putting them on like this pedestal of being a professional footballer.
Yeah.
Um, that bond will always grow, stronger. Because you're not treating them like they're different, like they're, because then, like you say, they'll sort of go in their shell. Especially when, like you said, with the podcast. with the footballers and things like that. You speak to them in a certain way, they're just gonna shut off shop
Yeah.
and just not want to speak to you.
No, not exactly like that, mate. It was like the thing is as well, like a lot of the footballers and who we've had on or whatever, kind of got stick for coming on podcasts or playing Call of Duty, and I was like, well, 20 years ago, like you look at the players, the Arsenal players, like Paul Merson and all that, they were all out at pubs the night before games and
Yeah,
that, drink beer, whereas people are moaning now that these guys play a video game in the comfort of
yeah,
their own home before a game the next day. It's like, where, like, how can people fathom that? Like, it just makes
yeah,
no sense to me. So, like, these guys risk everything to play football, and like they just want a bit of downtime. That was one of the good things about it. That's why I think the podcast was such a good laugh, because they just felt relaxed talking about it, and
yeah.
or when they come on gaming, it's like you said, mate. You just can't put them on that pedestal, mate. It just, because they don't like being up there. It's like Sky Sports and BT Sport and things, and they put them out there. Do you know what I mean? They'll put them up there, and
Mm.
like we say, mate, we can't stress enough. They're just normal guys, mate. They're just like me, you know. So, aye, but the world can be mad sometimes, as you know, mate.
Well, like with there's a funny story that I remember that you just said that about, back in the Arsenal days. I'm an Arsenal fan myself, and I remember hearing this story about Ray Parlour
Yeah,
having about 6, 7 pints before a game because he
yeah,
thought he was in the in like the res, he's not in the team, whatever.
yeah.
And the coaches came in 10 minutes before the game and said someone's got injured in the warm up. You need to be on the bench. And he's gone on with like 20 minutes to go, and he's absolutely steaming. And like you say, that wasn't, that was sort of, it was in the public eye. People knew it was happening,
Yeah.
but obviously it wasn't mentioned as much. Like you say, if that happened now, you wouldn't have a career. Like,
Oh, mate, if you
simple as
turn,
that.
if you were caught drinking, having a glass of wine before a game, now footballers would get,
Yeah,
in England especially, mate, 100%. Football's changed
crazy.
so much, mate. Crazy. But aye, nuts, nuts.
So into the second to last question, well, then we've got sort of a bonus treat question for you at the end
Love that.
to finish.
Yeah.
But if there's anyone that you've not worked with so far, that you'd love to work with, who would it be and why?
I think I'm going to go with. Is this a person or a brand or
Both or
both?
either, whichever one you
Or
wanna
whichever
go with.
one. I think I would like to do something with a kind of like a TV thing. I think I'd like to do something to do with Sky or BT,
Hmm.
whether that's to do with Scottish football or European football. I think I'd like to do something like that, or like something to do with TV or work officially with a big tournament like World Cup, Champions
Yeah.
League, Europa League conference. I'd like to do something like that. Um, Obviously not right now. But if the opportunity came up right now, of course I would grab it with both hands. But maybe in a year down the line, I think I'd be ready for something like that, on a more regular basis. But I
Hmm.
wouldn't mind doing a little cameo and say Saturday Social or something on Soccer AM or something like that or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'd say that.
Wake up.
I don't want to say a creator, because creators change all the time,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't want to pick out one creator from the other, because everybody's is unique. Everybody's unique, mate. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'd like to do a TV thing soon.
Wake up one Saturday morning, see you on, Soccer AM.
I'll need to make get on this anyway. I tell you that. But yeah, something like that would be good. I actually had the guy from Soccer AM on my podcast, James Kirtland. He's known as Curly. Great
Hmm.
guy, really, really great guy. Like the work that they put in is just nuts. Really, 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 really big work ethic from that full Soccer AM team. Like, he told me how much actually goes into it on the podcast. That's quite a good one, mate, for you to watch. But
Hmm.
uh, so much, so much time and effort and stuff goes into these guys making content for TV. It's crazy, crazy.
Right, so the surprise question. So we ask all of our guests this at the end,
Right.
just a bit of a wind down, bit of fun. So you're on an island, you deserted,
Yep.
you can only take one person with you,
Yep.
and 3 items.
One
What are you
person.
taking?
One
One
person.
person, 3 items, and you're stuck on an island.
Is the person famous?
Um, yeah. Do you know what we'll do? We'll do it someone that your community can relate to. So it can be someone that's like you say, always a subscriber or like you
Yeah.
say,
You know what?
and
I know I've
I'm not
already.
gonna let you say Dwayne Holmes. I ain't
You know
gonna
what?
let you.
No, but I was going to
Oh,
say, do you know what? Because I think me and Dwayne got on so well, and like I'm tall, Dwayne's smaller, so like I'd be good for getting coconuts out the trees or whatever, and Dwayne would be up to no good mischief. Like I think me and Dwayne would actually do quite well on a deserted island together. But let me think then. If I'm not allowed to take Dwayne, who would I take? Oh, it's a hard one. I'm trying to think.
there's so much more that goes into this question. Like,
Yeah,
because
because
you think about everything. You think about, well, I'm gonna be good at this. I need someone that's gonna be good at this. Like, there's so much more that goes through your head.
you know what? I have to stick with Dwayne because like everybody who watches it or watch their streams and stuff realize how funny it can be when me and Dwayne are like playing together or whatever. Like
Mm,
I think he would make. I would probably say if not like one of my mates, but for someone in like
yeah.
a community right that was with is. It's got to be. I can just imagine being him in their swim shorts stuck in this deserted island, just like trying to get food and stuff, or start a fire. I'd say Dwayne. I'd say what would you take? You would take a computer or something, or a laptop or PC or something. Like say you've got like so we can play FIFA or COD or whatever.
Yeah.
We'd take a football. We'd have to take a football, and we would take a lighter or a matches or something just to start a fire. I'll say that. I think that's
Yeah.
quite. I think
So
that's
you
quite.
got football, laptop, lighter, and then obviously you're going with Dwayne. I
Yeah.
mean, that's not a bad setup. I mean, we've had some interesting ones. Let me tell you, some very interesting ones.
See, I just kind
Going
of tried to
from
go down the kind of safe route. Do you know what I mean? But I
we've
just
had
think.
people say double bed. Like,
Oh no, you
you,
just
you
like
know,
sand
so
is soft.
yeah, it's. I think you've gone with more the logical sort of route.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm trying to keep me and Dwayne alive here. If I'm comfy, but no. Do you know that would be funny? Like a weekend with Dwayne home, like not to do the weekend with Bear Grylls, like a weekend with Dwayne home. That would be hilarious, man.
just
Like,
chuck you in the jungle and go on,
oh,
sort
honestly,
yourselves out.
that would be brilliant. Like he just because he does this Scottish accent as well, which like he takes a mick at me with this Scottish
Mm,
accent, and it's just brilliant. Like all my mates love it. All the Scottish people in my stream, like they love it. He's just so funny. So I know I mentioned him in a question before about what he's done for me and stuff and that, but he's definitely got to be the guy that went with me. But aye, no, definitely Dwayne.
we love that. Right, that is the end of the podcast. So thank you so much for coming on. It's been
Yes,
an
mate.
absolute pleasure
Yeah,
as always.
it's been class, mate.
Um, this will be uploaded to Spotify and YouTube as well.
Yep.
I will post all of your socials in there, so people watching, please go and show Juddy some love. Go watch the vlogs and make sure you subscribe to him, follow him, do all that good stuff. But again, appreciate you all.
Yep.
Peace.
Thank you very much, mate.